كانتربري في نيوزيلند عام 1974، وقد عمل رئيساً لقسم تكنولوجيا الأحياء في جيغي إن بوليتكنيك من عام 1975 إلى 1989. كما عمل محاضراً ورئيساً لقسم الأحياء في كلية العلوم في المعهد الوطني للتربية من عام 1991 إلى عام 2000، ثم عميداً لمكتب برامج الدراسات العليا والبحث العلمي في المعهد الوطني للتربية منذ عام 2000 إلى 2006. وأخيراً عمل عميداً لمكتب البرامج الخارجية في المعهد الوطني للتربية منذ عام 2005 إلى 2009. أما حالياً فهو المدير العام للمعهد الوطني للتربية العالمية منذ عام 2009. وسيتناول سعادة الدكتور لي سينغ العديد من المحاور المتعلقة بتطوير المدرسة كمحور أساس لعملية التطوير التربوي في سنغافورة، حيث سيتناول النظام التعليمي في سنغافورة وما تم إنجازه محلياً ودولياً، وخاصة فيما يتعلق بالمحكات الخارجية كالاختبارات الدولية وغيرها. أيضاً سيتناول أهم مبادرات الإصلاح التربوي التي تم اتباعها وأهمية الاستقلالية وأثرها في تطوير المدرسة. ثم سيتناول ما يتعلق بالجودة في العملية التعليمية وإسهامات القرن ال21 في مهنة التعليم والبرامج الأكاديمية لإعداد المعلمين. ثم سيتناول برامج المتعلقة بتطوير القيادات التربوية. الوقت المخصص لسعادة الدكتور هو 60 دقيقة، ثم بعد ذلك ستكون هناك 30 دقيقة للمناقشات والمداخلات. نكرر الترحيب بمعالي نائب الوزير وبمعالي أصحاب المعالي وأصحاب السعادة. كما نكرر الترحيب بالدكتور لي سينغ. It's an honor to welcome you here in Saudi Arabia, and it's a very good opportunity to get to benefit from your enriched experience in the field of education and in developing schools.
Thank you.
So the microphone is yours, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Excellency, Deputy Minister of Education, Excellencies, Your Highnesses, fellow educators, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure of mine to come back to Riyadh because I have many friends who are educators down here and whom I have had opportunities to interact, and I'm really touched and convicted that there are leaders among you who truly believes in what the importance of education reforms in bringing about the development of education of our children to be ready for the future. And this is indeed a commitment that I've seen in the leaders and fellow educators, and I think this is a real warm message and heartening to me as a fellow educator to see this commitment. This morning, I'd like to share with you some of the experiences in education reforms that has been introduced in Singapore's education system and what are the considerations that we have to look at in implementing these reforms that can bring about the impact of such a reform. Education systems around the world are grappling with educational reforms in many different spheres, with a common goal in mind on how to bring better education to our students under our care, and in order to prepare them such that they'll be ready to face not just contributing to the development of the country, but also enable them to plug into the knowledge-based economy of the world. How to prepare our children so that they'll be ready to work in this globalized world, at the same time contributing to the development of our own countries. Now, in any education reform, it is often looked at what could measure the impact of the reforms. I think rightly or wrongly today, a lot of this impact is measured by some international benchmarking. And I think the two international benchmarking that This is technology. Rightly or wrongly, today many high-performing education systems in the world are very much measured and benchmarked by international testing, commonly the PISAs and the TIMSS. But there are also many other activities around the world that provide supporting measures of the performance of an academic education system. Measures such as the Olympiads, the competitions of international activities such as in the area of ICT, knowledge and skills, robotics. There are many other activities that could measure the performance of students that have gone through a various educational system. But these two are very much the key in which many education systems are so-called measured by, rightly or wrongly. Okay? But in Singapore, our students have been doing well. We are benchmarked in many of these testings to be among the top 5 positions of the various assessments that they have gone through. So internationally, recently there have been many discussions and roundtable discussions on what good education system can attain and what contributes to the success of this high-performing education system. And there are many factors involved, and this morning I would just like to share with you some insights of the educational evolution and development of the Singapore education system, such that our students could be educated to a level that can achieve this attainment. I would like to share some of our experiences with you. Singapore's education system has gone through 3 phases of evolution. Our nation is a very young nation. We are an island of only 700 square kilometers, perhaps smaller than the size of Riyadh. Our population is only about 5 million standing today. And we have 500,000 of school-going children. And we have evolved when the country attained its independence in the year of 1965. Today, we are only 46 years old in terms of national history. So what have gone through in terms of the evolution of education in Singapore? Let me explain to you the 3 phases and why we evolve one phase after another. Beginning with 1965 to 1979, the phase of education that goes in Singapore is called the survival-driven education. When Singapore became an independent nation, we were very poor at that point of time. The literacy rate of the population was about only 50%. And there is a lot of unemployment among the population. So the first thing the government did was to really educate our students with a certain foundation of numeracy and language literacy, such